Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. Love you, miss you, but had to do some stuff. So, I might make a few videos today for readings. Right now, what's on my brain is positivity and mantras. How does that rubber meet the road? How do you measure that? How do you measure, okay, I'm putting these thoughts and feelings out, or maybe you're not able to even feel that yet. I'm putting these thoughts into my lifestyle. I have these mantras. They're positive. They're wonderful. They're amazing. And maybe you're not feeling it yet. But how are you measuring it? How is it impacting your life? Where is that rubber meeting that road for you? And that's what we really need to be concerned about. And how does I just rewatched a documentary from 2009, 2010 era. It's called Kiss the Ground. It's on Netflix. If you can watch it. Legit. It'll give you a whole basis for understanding functioning here in real life. Not in some fantasy realm, in real life. And I'm going to get back on the Jason Mraz. I'm going back to the earth, kids. I'm going freaking back to the earth. Because it's the only thing. It's the only thing that fills me up. It's the only thing that makes me truly, truly happy. It's playing in the dirt, being with the plants, and all that good stuff, helping things grow. So, I need to focus my energy on doing that. I need to focus my energy on getting back to that. In a major, major way. So I'll bring you guys along on that journey. So what does that look like? What does that feel like? What are you doing to positively impact your life? Now, this has become a movement, and I'm not sure how it's impacting people, but what I can tell you that if you, odds are if you are here, hopefully you're watching what you're putting in yourself, especially on a food-based level. Again, go watch Kiss the Ground. So when we're talking about where this rubber's meeting the road and we're making good choices for ourselves, does that mean you have to eat salads and veggies and fruit and that's it? No. You don't have to become a vegan or a vegetarian or anything. That's dangerous thinking there, and that's putting out really toxic things into the world. This is an ecosystem of people, and we all have different dietary needs. So when people are telling you that and shaming you that, don't shame one or the other. We don't need to do that. We all have our own needs, and we need to honor those things. How are you getting in your body after you eat? How are you feeling? Those are huge, huge things. Because right now we're kind of in this realm of we're okay, I'm going to go on this diet. Okay, I'm going to start this routine. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to no. And then a lot of times we find ourselves getting into really dangerous predicaments because that's not what our body's asking for. It's not what our body needs. And a lot of times we don't have people available to tell us to pay attention to our bodies. We have a lot of people telling us, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. We don't have anybody in our face going, what do you need? What are you craving right now? How is that going to make your day better, or is it going to make it worse? Just like thoughts, what we put in our face holes also matter. So we need to remember that our foundational process also has to be taken into account. Because this is great. This is a really powerful mechanism. But it's also directly connected to what we put in here, which goes down here into our guts. Okay, again, tree of life. As above, so below. And then you take that whole, as within, so without. You coming with me on this one? You with me? Are we still vibing? Okay. So this is that time of year where we start to reassess. Hey, maybe I should cut that out of my diet and add this. Maybe I should blah, 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 blah. We're all about health right now, right? This is a good thing. This is a natural pattern of life. We're supposed to be doing this. So, moving forward, check in with yourself. Are you feeling better? Are you doing better? Because if you're not, that's your body's way of saying, careful. There's all, I mean, I just learned that, like, bee stings. I mean, I suppose like Native Americans used to use snake bites for certain things. So it's a type of thing. And again, do your own research, do your homework, figure it out. But, like, don't get yourself the appropriate testing first. So, like, if you're allergic to bee stings, you're going to have a really difficult time. So I'm still like, really? So things like that. And then fasting, that's another thing that people get into, that you got to be careful. You got to have somebody there. Making sure that you don't fall down and hit your head and all that other stuff. And the refeeding process is usually the most dangerous part. All these amazing things. And then, like, daily fasting, I was doing that by default for years. I didn't know it was a thing. I was just doing, I wasn't hungry. I was like, I'm not hungry. I have a shit ton of energy and I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. I will drink my lunch. And that's what I did for years. For years, I drank my breakfast and my lunch. And then I'd get home and have a decent dinner that was, like, not packed with chemicals and processing. So, and again, I can't tell you that that's the right way to go. I'm just telling you my experience. Some people can't do that. They've had good results with getting rid of particular things with fasting. You can investigate that. It might be the reason why I don't have a lot of things that afflicted my family. And the thing is the reason why fasting is coming back around is because we used to practice it way, way more than we do now. This used to be a regular way of life, was fasting. Like, we did not depend on food this much at all. We did not need to consume nearly the amount of food that we've been conned into consuming. Because we used to be what we would call sun-based creatures. And now we're petroleum-based creatures. So, on several different levels, not just on a medicinal one. This is petroleum-based. I'm sure, like, the coating on a lot of this stuff is petroleum-based. Sorry. You get away with petroleum-based. This, like, anything like rubber or plastic. The little grippy things on this is petroleum-based. Handles on the scissor are petroleum-based. Stuff like that. Like, the stuff I rub on my lips is like, encaged in petroleum-based products. Stuff that my lotion is in, petroleum-based. So, and remembering that this is your third kidney. So whatever you put on this is also getting absorbed into your bloodstream. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so, again, petroleum-based. Like, I'm sure there's, like, in the little stretchies in here is, like, the little band thingies. Dun, dun, dun. I know. What do they call that? The Antichrist or something that we're supposed to demonize? Well, those frames are wood. Curtains are probably got some. These are wood, but I'm sure the paint's got some petroleum in it. Okay. So, see what I'm saying? We're still, like, kind of, I'm a really bad example of this, because I try. I'm obviously not 100%, but, like, resin. Resin is petroleum based. This is resin. Okay. So, yeah, it's kind of like my surroundings. I got a picture frame here that's got a plastic petroleum based. If you have stretched jeans, they're petroleum based. But yeah, I mean, like, stuff like that. We need to, like, just, I'm not telling you to get religious about it. Don't go nuts all over it. Just be aware of it and kind of decrease it as much as you can. Sun based. I could go into that, but I don't want to get kicked off YouTube. There's a study on NASA about staring at the sun. It's on NASA. It's on NASA's website. They know I'm not going to tell you how to do it. What else? So input, right? What are we inputting? What are we outputting? And this is all measurable. So, like, if you're in a crap mood, do you really need a Snickers bar? And how did you get to the point of needing a Snickers bar? Not that I'm demonizing Snickers bar, but how did you get to that point? Could you nip that in the bud somewhere? Okay, so oftentimes, like, we shame people for having emotions and feelings and whatever else. Well, you know, maybe they got off on the wrong freaking foot in the morning. Maybe you didn't get your breakfast bar, or you didn't do this, or you didn't break your fast the right way. Your hard-boiled egg was runny in the center. I don't know. Something. So if you can kind of start keeping track of those things. So many people start these, like, crazy journeys on working out and dieting and don't make a journal. Well, I did this, so this happened. And then I did this, so that happened. If we can start documenting that stuff, it really helps. What else? Yes, don't know. So I think forming the base is really important. Because I'm giving all these tarot readings, and I don't know if it's going to make a difference. Like, I don't want people to, start moving in this direction of, like, yeah, this feels good, but is it really doing good for your life? And that's I guess that's why I've always held off. Am I actually, like, benefiting people? Is this actually going to do anyone any good? And I think starting from that foundational thing, which for me is what really did it. So this, this is going to be bringing you kind of into my journey a little bit, because it's the things that have worked for me. And if they don't work for you, they don't have to work for you. That means you're supposed to go somewhere else. You're supposed to have, and maybe this is just a little fractal in the process. I have so many different people that I have gained knowledge from over the years, and there's no harm in that as long as you don't start worshiping people. That's where it becomes really toxic, right? And that's another thing I'm really leery of too. So I know I'm supposed to help, but I'm I just want to make sure A, I'm doing it, and B, that I am doing it in the correct way. I'm not. First rule of medicine, do no harm. And so if we're going to go on this journey, like, you need a base understanding of what health looks like. And I know, like, reading cards is very much a spiritual thing, but it also can be, how I read pentacles is not always money in the bank. How I read swords always isn't a stab in the back. It's how is your mental faculty right now. So taking all of those things into account and remembering that people are whole, and honoring that and moving forward in a way that, like, is gives you, like, somewhere to start, rather than, hey, what's going on up here? Oh, because people think that, like, this down here is, like, some sort of low vibrational stuff that we're supposed to ignore. We can't do that. That's how it gets out of control in the first place, is ignoring it. And respecting that energy, and, like, realizing that if you can harness that and, start building it up and not out everywhere, you can really do a lot of good for yourself and for the people around you. So let's start with the base. Let's start with the gut area, understanding that, what you put in here goes directly down. So, and that, that is the same for the mind. So if you're having bad thoughts, you might be having gut issues. So these two things communicate frequently. So yes, having good thoughts is really important, but having good guts is also really important. So if we can feed that good stuff, that it will also help increase the fact that your brain is going to be more towards the positive side of things. Because when you feel sluggish and crappy after you've eaten something, your mind follows, right? Your mind goes there too. You're like, oh my God, that was such a delicious, ridiculously, absurdly, whatever filled meal. And I loved every bite of it, but now I feel like crap. Now I just want to, and be all comatose and stuff. That means that there was probably not good stuff in it for you. It might taste amazing, but we're short term versus long term. I hope that makes sense. Where are we at? Oh, I'm not babbling that long. It's only been 16 minutes. So, you're tastes good now, feels crappy, 2 seconds after we're done eating, right? So restricting that to maybe a few little holidays, vacations a year would be of more benefit. Because there are those times where you need to celebrate and kind of just indulge a little bit without demonizing yourself for it. But then then it comes the season where you need to get back in shape again. So understanding that the more you lash yourself, the worse things are going to get, right? So I'm not trying to shame anybody here. I do it too. When fall hits, I'm like, heck yeah, it's bread season. Let's get to kneading. So that's just how my life goes, and I don't hold any shame in that whatsoever, because I've met so many people with celiac disease, and I'm like, that is just, that's rough. That's so rough. And I'm like, okay, I'm grateful for bread. I'm grateful I can eat pasta. And granted, it's clean. It doesn't, I do the organic thing because I do notice a huge, huge difference. And I might just be weirdly sensitive. And I'm okay with that. So, honoring the cycles and seasons that your own personal being needs to go through. And understanding that everybody has to have their own. There's some people that can't eat anything but meat. Dang, that's gotta be expensive. Okay, but maybe they need less. Maybe they're not eating full. What's that really big steak? Crap, the one with little. I don't remember what cut it is. I'm sorry. I'm a filet girl. The big chunk, the big plate of I could probably live for 8 days off of that. But I don't know how it works. But then you hear there's horror stories where they ate a piece of squash and then they were sick for 3 days, and that terrifies me. So I'm not one of those people that wants to cut something entirely out of my diet. I'm a foodie, I think. I think that's what they call. My palate is sensitive. But, so, and that's something I like about myself. I do like the creams and the yum-yums. I try not to overly indulge. I eat a lot of salad too, with just vinaigrette. But then I chop up, vegetables, and I put seeds and nuts and berries on it, and I get all crazy about it. And John, occasionally I'll sprinkle some feta on there. or blue cheese or whatever. But for the most part, yeah, it's winter. We're tired. Yeah, it's hot. I know. That's not how it's supposed to work. Okay, not for you. So do what you need to do. But remembering to pay attention to that stuff. Like, oh, I just had this weird new food and it's not doing so great. Or, hey, I just tried this one thing and I feel amazing and I feel my noggin feels clearer. I can think better. I have more energy. Ooh, I should probably eat more of that because my body's like, yes, please, more, please, happy. You know? And don't, like, obsess about it, but, like, make it, like, try to fit it in where you can. What else? And again, if you're like, but I don't even know where to start. Start with a few items. Start with a few things that are clean. You don't have to throw everything in your cupboards away. Wasting food is not a good idea at the moment. But like, just start with a few things here and there. Like maybe try like one day. You're just for one day. You're gonna eat organic. Just for one day. And see how it goes. And grass-fed is best, cage-free, gas-fed, yada, yada, yada. That's, yeah. What else? That's about it. What you put on your body, giving you a foundation of some place to start, because we're all getting into healthy this and healthy that. Just make sure you're feeling a difference. Make sure you're noticing a difference. Water. Water is another thing that needs to be filtrated. I hate fear porn, but here it is. They don't filter out any of the medication that people are taking. They don't filter that out. So if somebody's on chemo, if somebody's on birth control, if somebody's on heart medication, that's not getting out of the water. This is why people are obsessing over bottled water, and this is why other people are pissed off about it. Get a filtration system with your tax return. Get a filtration system. Legit. Or just, don't drink from the faucet. I know. I was devastated when I found that out too. But there are solutions to it. There are solutions to every problem. And that's what keeps me going. There's always a solution to every problem. And if I keep banging my head against it, I just need to back away from the wall and be like, what are you trying to teach me right now? Where's the lesson here? And you're like, oh, there's the lesson. Then you just walk away from the wall. And you're like, I'm going to go over here where, like, things work and things are reciprocated and things make me feel good and think good and behave good and whatever else. So remembering where the rubber meets the road. Again, how is this change really measured in my life? And that's the most important part for me, was because some things are just hoo-hoo, woo-woo. I don't know. They're just not, people will sell you really expensive shit and it doesn't work. Okay, so this is why we do our homework. This is why we do our human duties, to make sure that we're doing right by ourselves. I'm not trying to preach. I hate preaching. But I'm just giving you an insight on, like, the little choo-choo I'm running over here. So I think that's it. Water. Ooh. Start thinking about, like, maybe growing your own stuff. Like, if you got a backyard, you got a chunk of dirt, get in it. Get to it. Start taking care of it. Put some manure down. Put some compost down. Compost takes 2 years to degrade. That was the one thing that really irritated the crap out of me, out of that whatever video that was that I watched. Oh, Kiss the Ground. Some dude in California was like, yeah, we just mulched all this garbage food that we just got and now it's compost. No, it takes 2 years to break down, kids. You're just gonna fry whatever you put in the soil. So don't do that. Yeah. So see what you can do to put the good carbon out. Not just take away your carbon emissions, but put some lovelies out into the world. And, see if you can do, like, even further than that and make it edible. Feed yourself, feed your family, feed your neighbors. And put out the vibes. Let's put out vibes. Like, oh, what are they gonna go? Oh, what's that? It helps. It helps. It might not, like, explode, but it helps. Okay? So, I'm going to go probably get some more water, and then I'm going to see what I need to do for the day, and then I might make a video or two. I can't promise you anything yet. Okay? So, until next time, keep your flame.